Hi, everyone. Hi. Welcome to Hot Conversations with Jeauninè. I am she. I hope everyone is doing well tonight. I am back. If you're here with me, please say something in the comments to me. If you can, please share the live. Hi, Nina. How are you? I love you so much. Thank you for always supporting. I appreciate you. Hi, Sean. How are you? Thanks for joining. Hi, everyone. We are back. I am back. I am back. Come on as you come in. If you would speak to me, you're not going to be long tonight. Just want to talk about what's on my heart a little bit. Just a little bit of it tonight. Hello, those who are watching. Hi, Instagram. Hi, YouTube. Hi, Lady Kim. How are you? I am blessed and highly favored. I pray the same for you. Yes, I am blessed and highly favored. Yes, I am. We spend too much time complaining. So I am blessed and highly favored. I'm grateful for the opportunity to be here today, to be alive and well today. I've been going for some time, still not 100%, but I am here. I am here. I'm looking a little crazy, but y'all forgive me. I've been sick for 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks. So welcome. We're going to get started. I'm not going to prolong the time. Again, this is Hot Conversations with Jeauninè. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Those of you who have been with me before knows my mission. Those of you who haven't, and this could be your first time watching or stumbling upon the video, it is my mission to encourage, to embrace, to enlighten, to empower, and to educate men and women to be the best versions of themselves by any means necessary. I consider my niche to be accountability, so I am the accountability partner, the accountability coach. That person who has a desire to show you sometimes. Thank you, please, Nina. So I went away a couple of weeks ago, and I'm going to do a live about that very shortly, about my first time to Palm Desert, California. It was another family vacation, and went there for the first time, being in the mountains. I mean, surrounded by mountains, and they were beautiful. To come back home and get sick with an ear infection. Who would have knew that an ear infection would be, it's a lot. I've learned a lot. I try to take everything and learn something from it. And this ear infection definitely taught me a little bit more about how things are connected in the body and how it can affect certain things. So I am here. I am on medication. I am doing much better than I was. So thank you all for your prayers. Please keep me in your prayers. All right. So we have Facebook, we have Instagram, and we have YouTube. Hello to everyone. Thank you all for joining me tonight. I'm going to try to flip over to Instagram to see if there are any comments. I don't want to miss anything. Of course, I like to engage with everyone, not just me speaking, but if you have questions or you want to say something, please feel free to drop it in the chat. So I was supposed to have a live tonight with guests, and had to switch some things around, so I'm just going off the dome today. But I want to talk about really quickly, because I haven't been feeling good. I haven't really been on Facebook a lot and Instagram, and so I went through today and I saw a lot of people being, I like to engage. Oh no, wait, everyone. People being ordained or licensed or installed as a pastor or licensed as a minister or ordained as an elder. So I saw a lot of that, and it made me think about titles and the weight that comes with titles. Now, this is not just in church, but titles even on your job, right? Anytime a position is given to us, there's a process to it, right? There's a process to everything we do, whether we want to acknowledge it or not, but there are processes to everything we do. And when it comes down to jobs in the secular, we see an advertisement for the job. We look at the advertisement. We look to see if our skill sets match the job description, right? And so we're looking at our resume. Excuse me. We're going over our resume. We're going over what we've done, our experience, any schooling that has taken place. Maybe if we have time in between the cutoff date for the applications, some people have even did some extra certifications for their resume for said job. And we check our resumes, we do more certifications, we see what we have, and then we check it, or we should be checking it, based on the job that we see, their requirements, what their preferred qualifications are, because the jobs now will have preferred qualifications. They will have, you need to have a degree, whether it's an associate's degree, a bachelor's degree, or a master's degree. And then most times, along with those requirements, those preferred requirements, you will see that it says and or experience, right? So they're looking for you to have specific skill sets for that job. They're looking to see if you've been to school and anything that you've learned, if it matches up with that job. And then they also want to know what experience you've had in this specific area for the job. I hope I'm making sense to everybody, and I'm going somewhere. So they are looking for this in the secular world, right? And so knowing that, there's a job coming up for, I don't know, an architect. They want to know if you've been to school where they were able to properly teach you the dynamics of architectural, the mathematics that goes along with the architectural and designs and all of that, right? So you have a whole bunch of things that you have to do when it comes to the class for architectural. And then once you come out of school, did you have any experience? Did you work in that field? What other places have you worked at? What other positions have you had? And sometimes, even in this quest for a new job, they ask for references from previous jobs to see how well you work with others, to see your skill sets, to see if you're consistent, if you're on time, if you are compatible with change. So many different things that goes into looking or finding a job in the secular, right? Once you are now called, you put your application in and they're calling you for an interview, you're preparing yourself for your interview, you're thinking about what questions they may ask you, you're doing some research about the company, preparing yourself for the conversation and the dialogue that is going to take place during this interview. Of course, those qualifications are also responsibilities that are given while you're at this job, right? They want to know that you can do the job, and they're telling you what additionally you may be doing in the job. So you have your qualifications, you have your responsibilities, and then they talk about what you get, what your benefit is with the job, whether it's health insurance and life insurance and medical and dental and eye. All of this stuff is rolled into the process of getting a new position, looking for a new job, right? However, excuse me, let me continue on that light. So we're in the job interview and they're speaking to us because they want to know who we are, a little bit about who we are and the background that we possess. And, what areas in previous jobs that we learn from? What are your strengths? What are your weaknesses? They ask questions in reference to how are you with change? Do you adapt well with change? How are you with a large group staff? How well do you work with a little bit of staff? So there's a lot of questions that they ask you when you're looking for a job, you're interviewing for a job, and trying to land a new job. Even when you get the job, they have training and onboard training and telling you what's expected and showing you how to work the system and telling you, what your duties during the day would be, what monthly duties you have, right? What meetings you need to attend, how you need to attend them. If you have to present at these meetings, how do you need to present? How do you need to do this? And how do you need to do that? So they give us an array of different things that we have to do, and a lot of different things that we have to already be, right? And I was thinking with flipping it over to Christian, our Christian walk with God, being Christ-like and having a relationship with him and being a disciple for him, that we don't really go through, well, some people don't really go through that much intensity for the position than you would outside of church, right? You don't go through a whole, interview and looking over your resume and where you've been and where you've come from and how you've done this and how there's not a lot there. There are some people that do go through a little bit more than others, but it's not the same intensity. I believe that a little bit more should be incorporated in it, right? No job that you go on are you perfect for the job. Your skill set may be matched well with the job, but it's not a perfect fit until you've been in the job and you can master the job, right? Same thing when you move over to our relationship with God. And so I want to talk about the responsibility that we have, right? Some people feel that the responsibility of the relationship or the responsibility of what you do with your relationship is based on the pastor of the church, right? And our personal relationship with God is just me and him. It's not me, him, and 13 other people. It's me and him. Yes, when I walk into the doors of the church, that's my opportunity to learn more of him, right? I believe that there's different parts to going to church. I believe that when you walk in the door, there's responsibility that should walk in with you, right? First thing, the responsibility is we were coming to the house to give God all that's due to him. No, that shouldn't be your first time giving thanks or praising him. But when we walk into the door corporately, we're walking in the door because that strength of everybody else is needed. Everybody's coming in with a like mind that I'm coming to give him my all, right? During praise and worship, I'm singing to him. I'm worshiping him. I'm letting him know how much I love him and I care about him. All of that is responsibility on our part to come in and give him something. I also believe that part of the responsibility, if I can kind of put it in a nutshell, some of that responsibility is also what we should be doing for him, right? Because ultimately, all that he's done, all that he is, how much of us can we say we give as much as he do, or how much do we try to give our all to him? I think that it's becoming a thing of tradition where, you know, my parents took me to church and this is just what we do. You know, we just go to church. And in 2024, for me, it's more than that. If we can go and sit on a man's job for 8 hours or more, because in my case, and I need to put this big thing, that I have a regular job. I think some people think that I don't have a regular job. I have a regular job. But for me to go to my job 8 hours out the day, sometimes 9, working and doing all that I need to do, and I understand the responsibility that was given to me. I understand what I'm supposed to do when I get here. I understand what the need is. I understand how it needs to be done and when it needs to be done, right? We get that information. And is there a benefit that? Absolutely, because on the 15th and the 30th, I get a paycheck. So yes, I'm going to come in here and I'm going to do everything that I'm supposed to because I know that that's what's going to guarantee my paycheck. Me doing my job. Me fulfilling the responsibility that I signed on the dotted line to say, yes, I want this job. Yes, I'm going to do this. Yes, I have the skill set. And if I don't have it now, I'm going to do all that I need to gain the skill set for this job. I'm going to make sure that I not only just come in and do my job, but that I exceed at my job, that you're going to know my name, not because I'm looking for kudos, but climbing up a ladder, you know, trying to get to the next level in at work. There's some extra stuff that you have to do. You have to take initiative. Somebody put initiative in the comment. I have to take initiative to make sure that I'm seen, that I'm heard, that you know I'm here, that I'm ready to work, that I'm appreciative of my paycheck and everything that comes along with that, the health insurance, the life insurance, the going to school, the discounts on cars and all of that. I know the benefit of that. But then when we flip it over from the secular into church, it's like, the benefit is every single day, new mercies I see. The benefit is that he woke you up. The benefit is that you have somewhere to stay, that you have clothes, that you have peace of mind, that you have health. It may not be 100% of what you want, but you got it. That you are giving grace, that you're giving mercy, that he loves you, that he forgives you, that he's, everywhere. Anywhere you are, he's there. And we come in as if he should feel the benefit from us walking in the door. I don't really do a lot of church, but I'm going to go here today. I'm going to go here today. He's the benefit. He is our ultimate benefit, right? Because in him we live, we move, we have our being. In him we are able to operate and to live and to work and to love and to purchase and to get. It's because of him that we are. But it's this mentality that when we walk into church, it's as if he should be doing something. It took me a long time to understand. People would say, oh, they caught the Holy Ghost. I don't understand what that means. I'm trying to figure out, why is the Holy Ghost running? Where is he going? Anyway, but it's our responsibility to be the church. It's our responsibility to come in and to serve, but it's also our responsibility to come and give him what's due to him. Collectively, as a collective body on one accord, it should be clear that when I walk in this door, I'm going to give him my all, not just in my praise, not just in my worship, not just in my consistency, not just in my faithfulness, but also how may I serve you, God? What more can I do to serve you? What more can I do to benefit you, to benefit your word, to benefit your purpose? What need of me do you have? Because he has one. He has need of all of us, but not need to where it's going to be contingent on his existence, because he's going to be here regardless of whatever we do. But he gives us opportunity. My point today is be careful of the titles. It's a lot of people running after titles. My thing is, if you're running after the title, run after the work of the title, and you'll get the title. Bishop just posted a happy anniversary post from 2013, November 3rd, 2013. And that is the day that he laid hands on me becoming a pastor. I am the pastor of administration. I have a few things that's under me, and I work in that aspect, not senior pastor, but I work in the area of that. I told them in 2013, well, really 2012, when they announced that we were pastor designates, that you could keep the title. I don't need the title to do the work. I don't need the title to do the work, because I'm going to do the work. But what people need to, hi, Bishop, thank you. But what I want people to understand is go after the work, not the title. It's about the work of the title. But today I'm seeing that people want titles, but they don't want the responsibility that comes with the title. They don't want the work that comes with the title. There's no glam in that. And I think that people have made it glamorous to the point of that people feel like, oh, I want to do that because, you get a certain seat, or, you get recognized, or, because it makes you prestigious. Pastoring, if you ask pastors who are truly doing the work, ministry can be very draining. It can be almost hardship, because ultimately you're leading people, right? And sometimes they're not following. And sometimes they're looking somewhere else or doing something else, or not focused on it's not an easy task. It's not an easy job to do because it becomes who you are, not just what you do. And so if we come out of the mindset that I want this title, because there's work that comes with the title. And if you are not willing, and please share this to everybody that you know, go to church, okay? Pastors, leaders, whoever. And this is me enlightening, giving you perspective, because what I think sometimes we don't understand is that God is going to hold us accountable. You want the title? Okay, I'm going to give you the title. God called you? Okay. But we give titles and people just do whatever they want to. And then you have a church last week, and now this week you got a whole nother church. And then 2 years ago you had a whole nother church. Like, what are we doing? There's responsibility to every title you may get, whether that's in a secular world at your job or whether that's in the church house. There's responsibility that comes with the title. And that responsibility doesn't fall only on the leader. It doesn't fall on the senior leader or the leaders of the ministry. It falls on everybody in the ministry. Even if you don't have a title, you still should be running after the work of the ministry. You should be running after the vision, because ultimately, if God has set you somewhere and there's vision there, you should do all that you can to understand the vision so that you can run with the vision. But this thing nowadays that we want title and we don't want to do anything, or we want title, we want to be in the pastor's face, but then when everything else is going on, we can't find you. That's not, hello? That's not how any of this works. And the bad part about it is I always say I would rather have the respect of the people than have a title before the people. Because you could give people titles all day long, but if the people don't respect them in that title, what's the purpose of them having a title? I think I'm going to propose maybe over to, not going over, but maybe mimicking some of the secular world when it comes to skill set, qualifications, consistency, dedication. Like, all of that stuff needs to be part of the church, to where we evaluating all of those skill sets as well. Right? I'm not saying that. I always want people to understand that we're human first, right? When God calls my name, he's calling my name. He's not calling my title. He's going to call my name. Now, he's going to have conversation with me about that title, but he's going to call my name. And you need to make sure that your name is clean. At least let the people respect you in this quest for some title. I tell my father and my brother all of the time. I say to this all of the time. And I haven't said it recently because I know I'll be getting on their nerves a little bit with it, but it's like, take it back. Take the title back. It's a lot of responsibility that comes with the title. It's a lot of responsibility that comes with the title. And even if you don't have a title, you are a disciple of Christ. That is a title, and there is much work that comes with that. Much work that comes with that. There's a standard that any church that you go to, the leader sets. Everybody should understand that standard and abide and enforce, so that we're working together as a unit, as a team, for whatever the vision is. Skill set needs to come in there. We need to start paying attention to that. And if you're not in a place where you're ready for work, then you're not ready for title. Like, you can't go to, I don't know, Macy's and say, I want to be the manager, but you want to sit and kick your feet up all day inside the break room. Like, I hope I'm making sense to somebody. And this may not be for everybody, but it's for everybody. Because ultimately, what I'm saying is, I want us to be able to take the same intensity, respect, and honor that we walk into our jobs with, the same drive that we have to go inside here and get our work done, to make sure that we close those cases out, we call those people, we fix the financial, we pay attention to the budget with that same intensity, that same care and concern, knowing that you're going to get your paycheck on the 1st or the 15th or every 2 weeks or every week, is the same mindset that we need to walk into the house of God with. Well, I'm here to give him my all, but I also want to know what I can do for him while I'm here. Because ultimately the benefit is all of the promises that he's already given us throughout scripture. Sometimes we want the things that we can touch, the tangible things that we can touch, when God is saying to us, I gave you life. I gave you life, but that's not enough for you because, you're not getting a paycheck directly in your hands. And we have to think about all that God gives to us and all that he is to us, and understand how valuable that is. How valuable his love and his grace and his mercy is. It's valuable. Where would you be without him? Where would we be without him? Lost. Some would be in jail. Some would be in a crazy house. Some would be in a room looking out the window, making bubbles. But we have to be very careful. To whom much is given, much is required. That means the more that you want, there's going to be the more that you have to give. You can't fall back and now, I'm not going to give my all. He deserves your 100%. When you go on your job, even if you're not giving them 100%, you're giving them 90%. Because these jobs these days will fire you in a heartbeat. And if you live in the state of Georgia, they don't have to have a reason to tell you to get off their computer. Understand that with title comes great responsibility. And if you're not ready for the responsibility, hold off on the title. If you're not ready to push through when you don't want to, hold off. He may have called you. He probably just didn't say today. Because there's some skill sets. There's some things that we need to learn, things we need to understand, things that we need to become in order to be effective in whatever we're doing. It's crazy to have a title of something and you're not effective, you're not respected, people pay you no attention. What does that say to whoever gave you the title? What does that say? I know I'm not laughing today and talking about my vacations, even though I'm going to come back and talk about that. But I looked on my timeline and it's a lot of installations and ordination services going on. And for me, I don't really like to say congratulations because nobody's giving you a party. Nobody's giving you $1 million. What they are giving you is work. That's work. Those services is preparing you. No. I believe that the ordination and the consecration and the license should be basically giving you now more of a pass to work in that area, because I feel like you should have already been working in it. Doing something. Be careful of the titles, even at work. There's people who are jealous of people in certain titles and jealous of people in certain areas and feel like they don't deserve to be there or they don't qualify to be there, and they shouldn't be doing that and they shouldn't have the opportunity to do that. But you on the sidelines watching while somebody else is actually working. You would have the opportunity to get that position and that title if you pay attention to what you're doing. If you stop worrying so much about why this person is in this position and work where you are, then you won't have any other additional issues and you'll probably move up, up the chain on that. Back in my days, old school church, you started on the usher board. You started on the usher board. And then you got promoted to the deacons. Then you got promoted to the ministers. And then and there was certain, but with every level, there should be a level of responsibility that's going with you. Everybody want a title, but nobody wants to work. That's my encouragement for y'all today. That if you desire the office, if you desire the seat, make sure that you can fulfill the seat. Make sure that when you get in the seat, you do what's necessary to maintain the seat. Because if not, then you don't need the seat. You don't need the seat. You don't need the seat. This is an encouraging word for everybody. We have to be very careful what we desire and what we want, because everything that we want in life, something is coming with it. Something is coming with it, whether it's hardship, heartache, frustration, aggravation, tiredness, something is going to come with that, and you have to be prepared for what that is. My thing is that we want to jump from the pulpit, from the pool to the pulpit. Like, you didn't even get submerged good yet, and now you want a title to be somebody's pastor. Like, stop it. That's not fun. I'm cracking myself up. This is not fun. This is not fun. This is a lot of work. And always I want to encourage people and enlighten them that ministry is a lot of work. You're dealing with different people and different situations, different circumstances, different backgrounds, different levels of drama, different levels of toxic behavior. It's an array of things that comes with that. And if you want to get into that, make sure that you're ready and you're prepared, and that you have skill set that will help you within that. Of course, you're going to learn more stuff. Of course, there's going to be different policies and procedures and protocols that come later on. But before you jump into wanting a title, make sure that you read the advertising for the job. Make sure you read the job description. Make sure you read all of the preferred qualifications. Make sure you read all of the experience that's needed. Make sure you look at the responsibility that comes with it. There's responsibility to everything that we do. When you go to work, you got responsibility. When you come into the church, you have responsibility, not just to come and thank him and give praise to him, but how are we serving? Or what have you done to serve? That's a good question. What have you done to serve? Because God is going to hold us accountable. And of course, my desire always is to help people to be better versions of themselves. That's whether it's your relationship with God or you just outside of that. But the other part to that is that, my great-grandfather used to say, charity begins at home, right? And what sometimes those who have titles, sometimes have missed, or I've seen people in titles miss, is that they forget that charity begins at home first. You don't want a title as a pastor, a minister, and there's nothing going on at home. If you can't minister to your family inside your house, do not come outside your house trying to minister to somebody else. Read the job description and the fine print for the assignment you're seeking and accepting. And then guess what? What else to that is? Because on the job, you have a yearly evaluation. A yearly evaluation. And in that evaluation, they basically want to see what you've done. My specific job, I have to do a list. Well, I keep one for the whole year because I'm not doing it every. A list. And my list consists of everything that I've done. I don't care whether you think it's small. I did it. Yes, I did. I did it. I'm putting that on my list. If I've had training with 35 people, I'm putting that on my list. If I had training 2 days later and there was only 4 people on our list, guess what I'm going to do? I did training on such and such date, such and such date, such and such date, such and date. Why? Because I need you to be mindful of everything that I've done. I want you to be mindful of how I've gone above and beyond, how I've taken initiative, how I've done extra work, so that when it's time for my evaluation, I like it. It looked good to me, right? And that's my thing. Sometimes we look at what we could get our hand from God instead of looking at all of the things that he's already given us or what he can give us, because we're not really concentrating on that. We're not associating the two or even thinking about or evaluating it kind of sort of the same, right? Because ultimately all that I do for God, all that I do in my church is for God. So at the end of the day, I know that he's going to do something for me. And if he chose today to say, Jeauninè, you know what, today I'm not going to do anything extra because I gave you a whole bunch, I'm still in awe, because his love alone is valuable to me. It's more valuable to my paycheck. So we have to start evaluating what we want versus what comes with it, right? I'll skip over to something else. We want to be in relationship. We want the other person to give 75%, but we at 50. Like that don't make sense. It don't make sense. It don't make sense that you want something that you're not ready for, or you want something that you're not willing to learn about or take your time for the process. Everybody, Lady Monique posted something that I said to her a couple of weeks ago, or maybe a couple of months ago, that everybody wants to promise, but nobody wants the process. Everybody wants what they can get, but they don't want how you get there. The steps that's going to take you from A to B, nobody wants that. We just want to skip over straight to B. No, there's a process. And the thing about the process is going to teach us how to maintain the promise. It's going to teach us. That's what all of the scripture is showing us. It's teaching us someone going through something or something happening. It shows us the process of it and then shows us the end result. But we just want to go straight to the end result. It don't work like that. It don't work like that. It's a process. Don't rush the process, because if you rush the process, you're going to miss something very valuable that you're going to need. You may not need it in this moment, but you're going to need it later on. Don't rush the process, and be appreciative of the process. Now, if you want to be mad during the process or in your feelings about the process, that's fine, because the process is not going to be easy. You're adding on to you. That means I got to open up my brain and open up my knowledge and, learn a little bit more about this and do a little bit more of this and, figure this out and be better in this area and be better in this area and be better in this area. We have to take that on. We have to understand that God's love and everything that he gives us is valuable, just like your paycheck. So when you're looking for another job or you're looking for another title, you want to go up from minister to elder, think about this being a job interview and the senior leadership going over to see what you've done with it. Because for me, you should already be working in it prior to you get it. That's how you get it, because you're working in it. I'm not just going to give you the title just because you look and sitting there. No, be working. That's how you're seen, because you're working. People see you because you're working, right? You're showing forth those skill sets and everything that you said on the interview. Right? Oh, I can do this and I can do this. And yes, I can do this graph. And yes, I can make it here. Of course, I'm going to be at this meeting. And of course, I'm going to be at this meeting. And you don't have anything to worry about. I'm going to be here. But when it's flipped over to church or to responsibilities in ministry, every excuse has just rose up. And now it's something totally different. But then the first person we need, right? As soon as something happens, when we lose a job or something like that, we want to be crying and snotting to God. And what we have to understand, that God is looking at us sometimes saying, you stop hounding me. It's not me, it's you. Take a look in the mirror. Take a look in the mirror and look at all of the things that you desire. Do you have the capacity to fit that desire? Is what we should be asking ourselves. Not just, God, give me the desires of my heart. No, this desire, is it for me? Can I operate in this desire? If I get this desire, will I mess it up? Am I able to maintain this? Am I able to perfect this? Am I able to make sense of this? Because if not, then you need to wait a minute. Just hold on for a second. Hold on. So that's my spiel for today, y'all. I just wanted to encourage everybody. Those that don't have titles, I want you to know that there's a lot of work that comes with it. A lot of sleepless days, a lot of crying nights, a lot of being misunderstood, a lot of not caring. I'm sorry, y'all. There's a lot that comes with that, but there's also great reward. To see people going from a babe in Christ to, moving up, people watching people trust God more. That's benefit for me. I don't know about anybody else. But somebody coming to me saying, at one point in time, my faith was here, and learning and reading and praying and being a part has gradually got me up to here. And I'm grateful for that. And that's where we need to be. To whom much is given, much is required. In any position you want to be in, make sure that as you think about this position or this title or this new venture that you want to go on, think about you first. Can I do it? Realistically, can I? Right? Am I prepared to? Do I have what's necessary to work in this? Whether it's patience, I don't know, anything it could be. Figure that out first. Do the same work that you would for a job interview with a paycheck on the 1st and the 15th, the 15th and the 30th, every other week, every week. The same stuff that you do for that job interview, when it comes to coming to Jesus and you want to jump into a title over there, take that time to put in the same work. Having skill sets, saying hi, being nice, speaking to everybody, not just a few people, not just coming in because I want to do what I want to do, but I don't want to do anything else. I'm going to come in here and work the areas I want to work, and everything else, anybody else. You're not ready for ministry if you're not ready. I saw my father in ministry take off a suit jacket, roll up his sleeves to put his hands in a toilet bowl at a church. Somebody got to do it, right? Somebody got to do it. But if God called you to ministry and included in that ministry is not work, God didn't call you. Or it could be a God, not the God, not the God, the big one, him. It could be a God, lowercase a and lowercase g. Because if he called you to it, then he, in your conversation and in your prayer time with him, he's going to let you know what he needs for you to do. Because if he's calling you to ministry, he got to be talking to you about ministry. He got to be telling you what his desire is for you to do in ministry. If you have a deliverance ministry and he wants you to go out and go on the street every 2 weeks to love on people and hand out tracts and let them know Jesus loves you, but you don't like talking to people, who's telling you for ministry? Who's calling you for ministry? Who's calling you for ministry? Ministry is work. It's responsibility. And if you go to a ministry and you're called into ministry and you're not doing anything for ministry, you're hurting yourself. You're hurting the ministry. Okay? And of course, that's going to be some type of lack for the leadership, because now they got to stand in the gap where what you should be doing should be done. But now they have to stand in and do it because you're not completing it. Well, then why are we walking around wanting titles if we don't want to do the work? Stop. That's my spiel for today. I still can't hear out my ear, but I wanted to say that today. I want someone to be fully encouraged. I love everybody, but we have to be realistic, right? And I think that because you don't feel a consequence in the moment that maybe you think that they're not coming, they are. And I'm not saying that anybody is. I'm not saying I'm not I'm perfect, or I'm not gonna, have any type of consequences or something like that. But I'm very careful to understand that there's work to be done, and I'm careful to make sure that I try my best to get it done, because ultimately I want him to say, well done. Let's just stop right there. Because in order for God to even say that whole verse that comes behind that, we got to start at the well done. Are you worthy of the well done? That's a word right there. Are you worthy of his well done? Then it goes on to say, thy good, you got to be good, and faithful, that means you got to be faithful, servant. So all these attributes, before he says servant, that means you got to line up to all of them. All of them. Well done. That means you got to be doing something well. That good and faithful servant. That means we got to see you. And then he calls you a servant. And a servant is someone who serves. Right? Someone who serves. Coming to church and serving is two different things. Walking in the door and being there and serving is two different things. And God is requiring us to do both. Walk in the door and be doing something and be found doing something. Please don't have him come and you're sitting around wanting a title, but you don't want the work to it. God is not going to be pleased with that, I promise you. Because there's a lot of work to be done in the kingdom, and it's going to take all hands on deck to get it done. Ministry is not up to the pastor, to the senior leader. Ministry is not up to him. He's there to lead. So those who are following should be those who is making sure that the work get done. That's how it goes. Because if he has to stop hearing from God, studying God's word, visiting the sick and the shut-in, if the leadership got to stop doing that to do the work, then we have a disconnect. And then we need to figure this out. We have some type of disconnect. But there's work to the titles. Whether you at work, do your job. And when you come off that job and you go into the church, there's work to be done at the church too. Especially if you want a title, but a specific title. Let me say that, because we all are God's children. So that gives us a title right there. So just for that, we should all be working, because he's requiring and he has need of us. There's somebody that needs to hear your testimony, but you have to have a testimony first. You have to have a testimony first. And it can't be that you just want to tell everybody everything bad that happened in your life, because before you do that as a testimony, make sure that in that testimony you say, I did it. I chose this. I chose that. I chose to do this. I chose to do that. I didn't consult God. I didn't ask God. I didn't need God at that time. I did it on my own. Now, I don't know if that's really a good testimony to use, but anyway, I love everybody. That's me coming back tonight. I will have guests on next week. I don't want to tell everybody what I'm going to talk about next week, but it's going to be good. We are going to stay in the lines of church for next week, because ultimately 2013, 2024, that's 10 years, 11 years. And I think it's been about, 20 something years that I've been in ministry. I love God with everything in me, and my duty as a life coach, my purpose, let me say that, as a life coach, is not just to coach those outside of the ministry about them, but it's also to still step into ministry and to encourage and to enlighten those inside ministry, right? Because ultimately there is work to be done. But my point tonight was to be very mindful of the titles that you're looking for. Make sure that you can provide the work that comes with the title. And even if you're not sure, ask, what more can I do to help the ministry? Because we all are trying to, it's my hope and desire that we're all trying to reconcile men and women back to God, because there is a great pull away. And it's my desire that we're doing the kingdom work together. It is my desire that we're learning what ministry is about, that we're learning the work of ministry, that we're taking time to serve, that we're taking time to be consistent, that we're taking time to be faithful. If you have Bible study during your church, show up. If there's service, show up. If there's messages that's going out, respond. It's a part of the work of the ministry. It's a part of the work of the ministry. And know that your reward is great, because God is great. And everything that he has, we have joint heir to it. But there's requirements that come with us. I say that we have to be mindful of the conditions. I always say that because we want the end of the condition, but we don't want the process of the condition. So I wanted to encourage you all tonight to everything you do. Understand that from one place to the next place in between is the process, and that is needed. The process is needed. That's what's going to teach you and mold you and help you maintain whatever title you're seeking for. And make sure that as you seek for the title, you seek for God. Make sure that as you seek for God, you figure out what all you need to do for him, not looking for what you can get from him, because he's already given us so much. I love y'all all, and there's nothing that you could do about it. It's not how you love me that affects my life, but it's how I love you. And it is my job and my duty to encourage everyone to try to be the best versions of themselves, no matter how long it takes you to get there. If you need help or assistance with getting that or getting into figuring out where you are and where you need to be, please feel free to reach out to me. Hard Conversations with Jeauninè, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Love y'all. Bye.